Vibe, cross-community podcast radio.
Buongiorno Sanjay.
Ciao Sanjay.
Welcome to Radio Vibe.
Namaste everyone and ciao.
So it's Federica
It's Rosa here.
And Luigi.
today to interview Sanjay Ghosh.
Thank you so much for getting me up here, guys. Thank you.
Fantastic. So as usual, Sanjay, we start with our favorite question, which is, what's your favorite Italian word?
Right. I would say my favorite word would be ciao, of course.
International one.
It is, and that is the first thing we would say to break a conversation, to say hello to anyone, and that's a friendly gesture as well. So definitely, in my view, ciao would be my favorite word.
Excellent. Very good. So, Sanjay, would you like maybe now to introduce yourself and tell us something about yourself?
Oh, yes, of course. My name is Sanjay Ghosh, as you've introduced me earlier on. I run ImageNation NI in Northern Ireland. It is a voluntary organization to bring the community together, to keep the community connected. We do series of events over the year, multicultural events, diverse events, and this is how we try and keep the community, the spirits of the community alive.
And of course, which community do we
From
talk
namaste,
about?
maybe we guessed.
Yes,
Yeah.
it is. I would always like to say Asian and beyond Asian communities.
Yeah.
However, with my grassroots being from India, it is mostly Indian communities. Yes.
Yeah.
So you are Indian, I mean.
I am Indian. Yes, I am Indian. Yes, born and bred in India.
How long have you been in Northern Ireland?
I've been here for roughly 15 to 16 years.
Wow.
21 years in UK. So
Really?
yep.
One of the things that you told us was that you had Italian friends, which rocks. tell us about them.
About your Italian connection.
My Italian connection. My father, my parents went to visit Italy, and when he was there, he fell in love, and he gave me a call from there of how hospitable Italians were. It felt like he was in India by the hospitality he received at the hotel he was staying in, and then followed by that, I came in touch with Luigi and others, and I must say, never had any problems.
Yeah.
It's been all good, and the bonding has increased over the years. Every Indian has got a very deep connection with Italy, whether they like it or hate it. We love it. Personally, late Prime Minister Rajiv Gandhi married Sonia Gandhi. Unfortunately, he was assassinated. But yes, that is our deep connections.
She
with
married
Italy.
an Italian guy, no?
No, she married an Indian man, Rajiv Gandhi, who was Indira Gandhi's son. Indira Gandhi was a prime minister who got assassinated in 1984, and after she died, Rajiv Gandhi took over and he became the prime minister.
Okay.
Very aspiring, very energetic, very good prime minister of our time.
But for some reason, I thought then somebody from the Gandhi family did marry an Italian guy.
I would not know if that was the case. I'm sure they have a big
It
family,
would have
and
been.
they must have some sort of
Some sort of
Yes,
connection.
yes. I don't think you can get rid of it.
No. We
They're
are everywhere.
somewhere.
We always say that.
It's all love. I know that.
But which then brings me to the next one, which
No,
would
because
be.
but first, I have a very superficial reference, connection to make, Sanjay, which is, I think it was 1976, and there was Sandokan on Italian TV,
Oh, yes.
which was the miniseries,
Right.
really. And Kabir Bedi
Kabir Bedi,
Yeah.
yes, he's an actor.
He
was
the
actually the main actor there.
Yeah.
Wow.
And all the Italian ladies were totally in love with
Totally in
Kabir.
love with Kabir Bedi.
Yeah, and not many could actually remember his surname. So I remember my mum, for example, whenever the series was again on TV, calling him Kabir Baby, because it was the closest word really to that
I'm sure he'd
surname.
like to hear that.
And very much loved,
By all the
people.
Italian. Yeah, that's true.
So yeah,
And then there was something that I was also thinking about when we're talking about India and Italy. You once mentioned the three E's.
yeah.
The three
Tell
eyes.
us about the three I's.
Three
Sorry,
I's, yeah.
the E's in Italian, of course.
Yeah.
Well, it's an amazing thing. We are in Ireland.
Yes.
You're Italians. I'm Indian.
Yes.
And I believe that there's three big eyes. there's three common things that we all have. All these three countries have. We are much in love. We've got big families, and we are very loud.
Yeah.
And you forgot food.
The food, of course. The food, of
We
course.
have a
Yes.
passion for food, right?
For the three Fs.
We have, we thought about 3F.
Friendship,
Food, friendship,
and
Food
fun.
and fun,
fun.
or folklore.
Yes.
Actually.
So actually, if we think about, we have probably more than 3F. But yeah. So the I's and the F, we have a lot of things in common.
Yes.
So how much is the Indian community? How big is the Indian community? How many people, how many members would it have here in Northern Ireland?
That's very interesting. I was asked this question 2 weeks back in a similar interview. I would not know the right figures, but I believe that we are second most populated in Northern Ireland.
Wow.
We have been here since 1932. 1930s, I would say, when Indians first came down to sell cloths or maybe to some of the businesses. And since then, Indians have been arriving. I think after 2010, or maybe just after the troubles have ended, we have had a big flow of Indians coming in.
Yeah. So it's indeed a big Indian community.
It's a big Indian community.
Yeah.
Do you think the Indian community is settled? Like they feel this is home?
I feel it's my home. Yes, it is my home. I've been here for 15 years. It took me a while to settle down when I first came down, but it is my home. A lot of people come up here either to study in Queens or to work in the IT, which could be short term. Others migrate because it's such a small country. There's not many opportunities up here, and they do migrate out to different places, maybe to England or some other countries, or maybe even fly back to India. But people are settling back now. We can see a big number of Indians as compared to 15 years back.
Excellent. So, what's the thing you like the most about Belfast and Northern Ireland? I mean, Sanjay, something that maybe from the beginning, you fell in love with.
The crack.
Which is interesting because
I know what they say.
this word is only used in Ireland, in Northern Ireland, where they say crack, isn't it? Because otherwise people start to think, what are they talking about? But yeah, the crack, as they locally say, it's related to fun, isn't it?
And they say the crack's 90. if you've heard that, which means the crack's very, very good. I think this is the only place where you can walk into a bar, speak to a total stranger, spend the night, and then end up in a house party. Like, where can this happen? It only happens in Belfast. I've lived in London and other places, and I've only seen these things happening where I can freely invite a complete stranger to my house, or maybe go down to his house and get a carry-out. A carry-out is getting drinks.
Of course,
It's not food, So
not necessarily food. That's true.
I feel so Irish up here.
That's it. That's what happened after so long when you settled here. Yeah. So really, another thing then I was also thinking is, obviously you definitely feel at home here, and as you say, the crack. Was it easiest to settle into the crack straight away, or did you have to take time to adjust to the Northern Irish or Irish, if you like,
It took me a
lifestyle?
while, yes.
Because obviously, as you say, if you walk into a bar here, a stranger would talk to you in no time, and not everywhere you can find that. I don't think we can find that in Italy. Like, it wouldn't be as easier.
No, right.
It wouldn't be the same. No.
And so I wondered, was it easier for you to really do that, or did you find that what the hell was it this guy wants from me? Why does he want to talk to me?
I think Indians were generally made to feel welcome right from the beginning. When I first came up here, I remember being in the Crown Bar, and someone approached me and asked me, where are you from? And when he learned I was from India, he bought me a pint of Guinness. I was having a regular beer. Apart from that, my mother was here, and she was walking down with a sari, which is an Indian attire, and people were very keen and to know what she's wearing and where we are from. So in my view, yes, we were made to feel welcome right from the beginning. Of course, there are hotspots and places where you should not go. But in every country, every city has got those places.
Absolutely. And it's nice for people to be curious, about us and ask questions,
Totally.
because we would be willing to explain and to introduce ourselves.
Indeed.
That way.
Yeah,
So-
I've had the same experience as well. People are really, really welcoming. But I guess this is a good moment to take a break.
Have our little musical break.
Which, by the way, is actually done by Luigi.
By myself, yes.
So let's take a break.
certo Pasqualino pescatore viveva in assoluta povertà, però sentiva sempre in fondo al cuore qualcosa che diceva un di verrà. E un bel dì giunse a Sorrento una principessa indiana sopra un grosso bastimento, la bellissima Calì. Pasqualino la guardò e Calì si innamorò ed in India lo portò. Pasqualino Maharaja a cavallo all'elefante, con in testa un gran turbante, per la giungla se ne va. Pasqualino Maharaja ha imparato a far la pizza, tutta l'India ne va pazza, solo pizza vuol mangiare.
Welcome back for more Sanjay Ghosh.
Thank you.
And just really to set the scene, today we are sitting outside Queen's University Quad, which is in the garden. And just to sort of let you understand where we are, sometimes you can hear a little bit of wind. Thankfully, we still have been spared by the rain, and we hope that it wouldn't start to rain while we interview here or continue our interview with Sanjay.
But there are some beautiful porticos, Italian style a bit. Just
Totally.
in case it rains. I mean,
So then we can go inside if it does start to rain. So
but it won't start.
no,
right?
I don't think
Yes,
so. I'm looking at the
because-
sky and it seems like, yeah, it's going to start soon.
Let's hope not.
It's the usual lead color that covers us most days.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Anyway, Sanjay, you were saying before about your organization, which is ImageNation NI, and like an event planning organization. Really, people can find you on Facebook. You have your own Facebook page. So would you like to tell us something about, past, present, future events? And it's nice to have Luigi here because, Luigi, you actually took part in some events organized by Sanjay.
Yes,
so.
yes. Very proud of having...
Oh, thank you. Well, as I said, we've got this love relationship. We have been doing events for the last 10 years, and we pride in doing some of the most authentic Indian events. One of the events that I'd like to mention is the Rath Yatra, as in Rathyatra, which is the Festival of Chariots.
Oh,
Yes,
okay.
we believe that God resides in temples, churches, mosques, everywhere. But then this one day, gods leave their humble abode and come out on the streets to make their presence felt for those who are unable to go down to the places of worship. So gods come out and they make sure that people know about their presence and they know gods exist. This is the day when we place the god on the chariot, and people pull the chariot. The idea is to pull the chariot down to the god's family. So the god is actually leaving his home and going down to visit his family with his siblings. So that is one of the most important events that we brought back. It happened until 2011, but due to the less number of Indians, it is discontinued. And I was very happy to bring it back up here in Northern Ireland. Followed by that, we had loads of the events, one of which Luigi had gladly taken part, and everyone enjoyed it, Luigi. And I still get calls, people asking me, how is Luigi?
I'm glad to hear that.
Absolutely. You rocked that day, especially being the only Italian man among about roughly 250, 300 Indians. So Bobby Rao, who's an international retired cricketer, keeps on asking me about you. How's that Italian man? He's got some spirits. He was dancing and singing. Beautiful, beautiful.
And so, of course, just for people to know, Luigi is a musician, right?
Yes,
So,
yes,
just in case people wonder.
And a radio viber as well.
And a
Yes,
Radio
yes.
Viber member as well,
Yes.
of course,
Yes.
of course.
But let's talk about you. What was the biggest challenge during the lockdown and the virtualization of your job? We can call it so.
Coming February, March, when this thing started, the pandemic started, it was the end of it. I literally gave up the whole idea of events for another year. Luckily, we had this the big lunch thing.
Yes.
I think it was a fantastic idea.
It was very good.
Which
yes.
brings people together,
exactly,
sadly, isn't
what
it?
was it about?
It was not
Sanjay,
my
exactly?
project. It was the Eden project. If you heard of Eden project.
Yeah, Eden Project.
Eden
Yeah, I
project,
think
and I was meant to go down to a camp for 2 days with my community work. I had some other projects in my mind, and they said maybe if you come down to the camp, you could probably make it possible. Unfortunately, the camp was cancelled, and that's when they started approaching me saying you shouldn't give up and you should do something. And we've got this big lunch thing where the communities, the neighbors come out on the street on this first weekend of June, and they have food. They share the food. There's no money involved, no purchase sale involved. You bring your food on the outside your houses and you share with your neighbors. It's a neighborhood thing. Unfortunately, we couldn't do this live, so we did this virtually, where we got the whole community together and we had a lunch. We spoke about each other, and people were very, very happy. Although they knew they could do a Zoom thing, it was only with friends. Not with the community, not with the whole community. And India being a large country with so many different states and religions and other things, people loved it.
Fantastic.
So yes, the challenge there were big challenges, and I would say thanks to the Eden Project, I must mention their name, for coming up with this beautiful idea, and that gave me a push. Since then, we did Sur Milan, which again you were involved with, where we brought in diverse songs from Indian and beyond India, and it was a virtual thing in YouTube. We've also got future plans where we're working in a project called Belfast in Conversation.
Oh, beautiful.
Yes,
Okay.
it's
what
all
would
about.
that be?
It's about getting people from different backgrounds, the thought leaders, the personalities, to speak about them.
Okay.
About their work, but the idea would be to get the community involved. So rather than me going out and speaking with them and interviewing them or conversing with them, we ask the community if they want to converse with them, and they only get qualified if they have the knowledge, if they aspire, if they're really keen on speaking to that person. So, for example, we had Tushar Gandhi, who is the great grandson of Gandhi. And when we learned that we could have him, along with Nitin Sonawane, who is a Gandhian who's walking around the world, he helped me to he got me in touch with Tushar Gandhi. We got someone who was very keen with Gandhi, Sandhya Tirupati. We had a date and we got the whole thing recorded. We've got more other personalities from different backgrounds, and we hope to release this on 2nd of October.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
Which is the birth date of Mahatma Gandhi. So from that day onwards, we'll be playing one thing every week.
Okay, brilliant.
So that's the idea. So Belfast.
And Sanjay, will it be a virtual thing, really, like on YouTube? Maybe where can people find more information, or how can they connect really to this initiative?
It will be through YouTube. We have got our Facebook, our social media, our Twitter account, and we are also working on developing a website, which we had not thought earlier on, because we believed Facebook gives all the information you want. It's for free.
Yeah.
But now we understand the value of website, and we'll be using all different channels along with sponsored ads in UK and possibly back in India also, to so that people could take advantage of this thing. So that's my next biggest project.
Fantastic. That's very great. It's very thoughtful as well.
Yeah.
Yes, and I think with this whole lockdown thing, it has helped people to
become more creative.
It is all about creative. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, it's the same thing that happened to us in a way with Radio Vibe. The lockdown has enabled us to think of way on how we can reach each other.
Yes.
And so that's the idea about as well the podcast.
Yeah.
So
to people's homes.
To go to people's home, and they can, because of the isolation, because of self-distancing, a lot of people have really stayed home. And some of them, unfortunately, continue to stay home because they are afraid. So that's what the lockdown has done in many respects, has enabled people to become much more creative, and then, of course, bring community together as well.
Indeed. Well, that's what I say, ImageNation NI, keeping the community connected.
Yeah.
And that's what you're doing. You're getting in other nationals, other people to be able to, speak about their work and connect with each other.
Yeah, totally.
That's very good.
Excellent.
And just, talking about this, Sanjay, we can maybe close off with the very last question, which is always a bit of follow-up from within the community in a way.
Absolutely. One of the things that we really like to ask people before they leave us is, what would you like to see coming up in Radio Vibe?
What I'm doing is with my work in Belfast conversation, it is very broad. We're now narrowing it down and going down from state to state in India. You could possibly do a similar thing where you can have one series for India, one for Europe, one for each continent, one for each country.
Oh,
you
wow.
know, it'll be possibly. I don't know if you could really
Map the planet.
Map the planet. Why not?
Into Radio Vibe.
Yes. Set
why not?
everyone under one roof.
We have to think of way of doing it without really moving too far away from Northern Ireland. But I guess, as I say, because we are such a diverse community today here in Northern Ireland, it would be easier for us to do it.
But before you close down, I think Northern Ireland is one of those countries where you've got street names from all over the world.
That's true. That's
so
true.
it shouldn't be very hard for you to go. You could possibly find, map the world in Northern Ireland itself.
That's true. So, and with this, really, we would like to close our chat rather than interview, because that's what it is. We learned so much from you today, and thank you for sharing your projects and ideas and knowledge with us. So, thank you again, and namaste.
Well, we fold our hands and namaste everyone.
Namaste.
Namaste everyone. And I would say thank you very much, Sanjay Ghosh, and a big, big hug to all the Indian community in Belfast and Northern Ireland.
Thank you.
So, ciao to all India.
Ciao.
Ciao.
Ciao.